Welcome to the Reconnection Club podcast, the show that helps parents heal troubled relationships with their adult sons and daughters. I'm your host, psychotherapist Tina Gilbertson. Each week, I'll offer you compassion, clarity, and personal development tips designed to help you reconnect, not only with your child, but with yourself. Now let's get started. Both parents and estranged adult children might think of reconciliation as something that happens when estrangement is over and it's time to get back together and move forward. But from what I've seen, and I have witnessed quite a few reconnections now between parents and adult children, it may be better to think of reconciliation not as the end of estrangement, but as a phase of it. I've written about reconciliation as a phase of estrangement before, and in this episode, I want to further familiarize you with this phase and normalize some of its challenges so that you can confidently enter into reconciliation without undue confusion or surprise disappointments. Because if you don't know what to expect, the reality of the reconciliation phase can catch you off guard and discourage you. Let me acknowledge before I continue that as difficult as it can be to navigate, reconciliation is a good thing. If your estranged adult child starts to re-engage with you even a little bit, things are headed in the right direction. You're on your way to reconnecting. The trick is to understand and accept that any work you may have been doing to make repairs isn't necessarily over, and in some ways it could be just beginning. For most parents I've talked with, not all, but a majority who are in the reconciliation phase, it's as though you exchange the pain and despair of not being in contact for the pain and despair of being in contact with continuing ambiguity, uncertainty, and lack of closeness. It's normal in this phase to enjoy an unexpected and amazingly positive interaction with your adult child, only to wake up the next morning feeling blue. Probably the biggest complaint I hear from reconciling parents is that communication with their child feels superficial. The relationship seems far from back to normal. Parents describe their supposedly reconciled adult child's behavior as cold or formal. They only talk about logistical things or the weather. They don't have the heart-to-hearts that the parent longs for. It may be necessary for some adult children to maintain psychological distance when reconnecting in order to feel safe being close again. It doesn't have to be permanent, but this need for continuing distance often doesn't compute for parents because they are on a different page. If you're in this phase together, though, it means you both want the relationship to work. But as I mentioned in episode 164, Seeking Safety, parents are more likely to seek emotional safety in being closer, whereas reconciling adult children may feel safer maintaining some distance. No one is wrong. Nothing has gone off the rails. It's just an aspect of reconciliation to be aware of and to tolerate. With estrangement, you discovered, possibly for the first time, that the two of you were not having the same experience in your relationship. And now, during reconciliation, you might find that happening again. For the reconciling adult child, this can be a time for testing, either conscious or unconscious. They're trying to figure out, has whatever it is that made me want or need to leave changed? Or, if it hasn't changed, can I handle it differently now? They may ask themselves, if I speak up about something that I used to not say anything about, how will it be received? Will my needs or requests be respected or debated? It's possible that both of you feel the other one is holding all the cards during this testing phase. Both may be afraid of being hurt again, but in different ways and for different reasons. Reconciling adult children might set unaccustomed boundaries around conversation topics or travel dates or response times when texting, or who gets to initiate texting. But new boundaries are wobbly. So what's okay on one day may be not allowed the next, or vice versa. This is normal when we're trying new things. Changing goalposts during reconciliation is not in itself cause for concern about your child's intentions or their mental health. In addition to newly expressed personal boundaries in the relationship, there may be quite a bit of ambivalence. So, if your adult child says one thing and then says the exact opposite thing, you can believe them both times. For more on understanding ambivalence, review the episode 171 at reconnectionclub.com/171. Because they can sense, or in some cases they're told, that they're being tested, parents in the reconciliation phase tend to feel like they're walking on eggshells. They can't relax and be themselves. It's uncomfortable and awkward. It may bring up sadness, despair, or anger. This is not the reconciliation they pictured. If you're in this position, other people might point out, "Hey, at least you got a text on your birthday," when all you feel is let down. It's okay if you continue to cry during reconciliation. It's understandable that you might feel hurt, sad, or frustrated. You're simply working through emotions that are being kicked up by what's happening. Right now, your relationship is like a house during spring cleaning. The dust and the mess are part of the process. It just means it's not finished yet. So try not to be overly concerned or confused about unpredictable behavior during reconciliation. Do your best to be consistent in your own behavior, following your personal reconnection plan. And if you're not sure what that plan is, that's what the Reconnection Club is for. For more on a strategic approach to estrangement, listen to episode 144 at reconnectionclub.com/144. And also review our 3-part roadmap to reconnection that starts with episode 97. Because when it comes to unfamiliar territory, it's helpful to have a map. Until next time, remember that you are a loving, lovable, and still growing human being. So please take good care of yourself. Bye for now.
If you've enjoyed this episode of the Reconnection Club podcast, I invite you to check out reconnectionclub.com. The Reconnection Club is for parents at any stage of estrangement from their adult, child, or children. So whether you've just realized there's trouble between you, you've been living with estrangement for years, or you're newly reconciled but still walking on eggshells, the Reconnection Club is your essential resource for information, support, and continued personal growth. With our courses and workshops, expert interviews, monthly Q&A calls, and a friendly, active community, the Reconnection Club is a wonderful place to be for anyone suffering the pain of estrangement from an adult, child, or children. So check it out at reconnectionclub.com.